The Sefer Yetzirah is without question the oldest and most mysterious of all kabbalistic texts. The first commentaries on this book were written in the 10th century, and the text itself is quoted as early as the 6th. References to the work appear in the 1st century, while traditions regarding its use attest to its existence even in biblical times. So ancient is this book that its origins are no longer accessible to historians. We are totally dependent on traditions with regard to its authorship. Equally mysterious is the meaning of this book. If the author meant to be obscure, he was eminently successful. It is only through the most careful analysis, studying every word with its parallels in biblical and Talmudic literature, that its haze of obscurity begins to be penetrated. There have been many interpretations of the Sefer Yetzirah. The earliest commentators tried to interpret it as a philosophical treatise, but their efforts shed more light on their own systems than on the text. The same is true of efforts to fit it into the systems of the Zohar or later Kabbalists. Efforts to view it as a book on grammar or phonetics are even more unsuccessful. In general, the Kabbalah is divided into 3 categories: the theoretical, the meditative, and the magical. The theoretical Kabbalah, which in its present form is based largely on the Zohar, is concerned mostly with the dynamics of the spiritual domain, especially the worlds of the Sefirot, souls and angels. This branch of Kabbalah reached its zenith in the writings of the Safed school in the 16th century, and the vast majority of published texts belong in this category. Meditative Kabbalah deals with the use of divine names, letter permutations, and similar methods to reach higher states of consciousness, and as such, comprises a kind of yoga. Most of the main texts have never been published, but remain scattered in manuscripts in the great libraries and museums. Some of these methods enjoyed a brief renaissance in the mid-1700s with the rise of the Hasidic movement, but within a half-century, they were once again largely forgotten. Chapters 3 to 5 discuss the 3 divisions of the letters: mothers, doubles, and elementals. These are related to the universe, soul, and year, presenting a fairly detailed astrological system. In these chapters, the entire thrust of the book is changed, and they contain virtually no hint whatsoever of its meditative aspects. This, however, can be explained by a principle found in many later Kabbalistic texts. In order to focus spiritual and mental powers, one must take into account the time and astrological environment.